in a rematch. Two teams that have met already twice this season. Uniontown winning by 20 at home, and then a last-second tip-in by Carl Farrell, giving the Red Raiders a 2-point road victory just a couple of weeks ago. Central Catholic comes in at 15-9. They finished 8-4 in their section, while Uniontown, of course, winning their section at 12-0, and they are 23-1 overall on the season. They are the number one seed, of course. They were the number one seed last year as well in the WPIAL, advanced all the way to the finals before losing in a disappointing game to Chartiers Valley. So redemption on the minds of the Uniontown Red Raiders as they're hoping to gain that crown that they just missed out on last year. They've had to battle the burden of high expectations all season long. Everybody has expected them to run roughshod through the WPIAL, and so far they have not disappointed. But now it's the second season, one off night, and your season could be over. For the Red Raiders, of course, Terrence Vaughns, D.R. Jenkins, Chris Jacobs, 3 1,000-point scorers leading the way. 3 victories, and Uniontown will win their 8th WPIAL basketball championship. But you can't think about a championship unless you win this quarterfinal matchup first, and it will not be easy. Central Catholic laid them tough earlier in the year. We expect a tough one again tonight as well. Should be a good one. We'll take a look at the starting lineups and have the opening tap. It's Central Catholic against Uniontown. Playoff action next here on HSTV Sports.
The Herald Standard just became more valuable. It still has all the local and world news you want. It still has all the local and national sports you want. And yes, it still has all the other great features you want. Plus, now more coupons.
More coupons.
More coupons.
That's right, more coupons.
A new expanded coupon package has been added to the Sunday edition of the Herald Standard to bring you even more money-saving coupons on the brands and products you buy most. There's no reason to ever get a different Sunday newspaper.
No reason.
No reason.
Absolutely no reason not to get the Herald Standard.
For home delivery, call 724-439-7530. The more valuable Sunday Herald Standard. Now it's all you really need.
And welcome back, Chuck Thurso with you. We are just about ready to rock and roll. It's WPIAL playoff action quarterfinals as Uniontown takes on Central Catholic. We are just a couple of minutes away from bringing out the starting lineups and then getting it on. We are at Hamer Hall here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania as we listen to the familiar voice of Annie Malkowiak in the background. Uniontown girls basketball head coach, also works here at California University, so she's working tonight. Does that mean she has to be neutral? I guess officially, but somehow I suspect she's pulling for the red. Oh, come on, of course she is. Make no bones about that. There are a lot of people here. They have really packed it in here at California's Hamer Hall. This is the only game being played tonight. This is not a doubleheader. This is a single game, Uniontown Central Catholic, and there are Uniontown fans all over the place, and even some folks from other schools that I saw in the crowd. I saw a couple of Albert Gallatin girls players who are here. I think I saw Meg Guerriere in the audience earlier. And also a couple of school board members from the Albert Gallatin School Board are here in attendance as well. So it's not just Uniontown fans. But of course all the Uniontown people are here. Maroon Red Raider t-shirts all over the place, and they are ready to make some noise up in this house. A lot of high hopes for the Red Raiders, who have won 7 WPIAL titles and 4 state titles in their history, and they're looking to add to each of those numbers this year. Made it to the state finals 2 years ago and lost. Made it to the WPIAL finals last year and lost. Learning experience, though, and this is a senior-dominated squad. 5 seniors in that starting lineup. The sixth man is senior as well, in Kevin McLee, and this is what they've been pointing towards. Ever since their loss last year in the state quarterfinals, they have been pointing towards winning it all this year. First winning the section title. Well, check that one off the checklist. Now, the second season, the WPIAL tournament. State tournament, of course, still to come. We'll take a look at the starting lineups in just a few moments, but first, the national anthem. The top-seeded Uniontown Red Raiders come into this game with a record of 23-1. They're taking on Central Catholic, who comes in at 15-9. These teams have met twice this year. Back on January the 4th, they played in Uniontown, a game we carried here on Herald Standard Television. Central Catholic stayed in that game for a while before losing 80-60. And then a few weeks back on February 1st, they played at Central Catholic, and the Vikings really played Uniontown tough that one before Uniontown won 64-62 was the final score there. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Central Catholic, number 3 is Jacob Barker. He is a 5'11 junior guard. The other guard is 6'1 senior, number 30, Drew Garcia. Taking a look at the starting forwards is 6'3 junior Jim Highland, number 33. He is joined at the forward position by 6'4 senior Connor Lamb. And the other starter is number 22, 6'4 senior Steve Bucas. And that's your starting lineup. Central Catholic's head coach, Chuck Crummey. The Uniontown Red Raiders starting lineup. Now to be introduced, and no doubt this is like a home game for the Red Raiders. You can hear the difference in noise. Polite applause for Central Catholic, but they're getting all excited about the Red Raiders. They're wearing the home whites, and this is almost like a home game for them. Ton of Raider fans here as the Raiders, led by head coach Dave Shuck. And it's been a big story throughout the year that this expected to be his last year. He wants to go out with a state title with this wonderful senior squad that has played for him for the past 4 years. Number 12 is David Winfrey, your starting point guard, 5'10 senior. Number 20 is Dear Jenkins. He's a 6'2 senior. Number 24 is the Raiders' leading scorer, 5'11 senior Terrence Barnes. Comes in averaging over 18 points a game. Starting at forward is number 32, 6'1 senior Chris Jacobs. And your starting center is 6'2 senior Carl Farrell. The Raiders play with that three-guard offense. Tenacious man-to-man defense. The name of the game for the Red Raiders, creating offense off of defense, but you don't need me to tell you that. Most of our viewers out there know very well what to expect. You've seen the Red Raiders many times this season here on Herald Standard Television. Your officials tonight, George Preisendorfer, Denny Haney, and Paul Soroka, the men in stripes. And again, officiating will be a key here in the playoffs. If Central Catholic has any advantage over Uniontown, and this may be the only area where they have a slight advantage, it may be depth. You worry about Uniontown if they were to get into foul trouble as the playoffs go on. That could be the one bugaboo. Because they play such tight defense, if the game is called close and they get themselves into foul trouble, they could be in a tough spot. We'll see how this game is called as we go on. Central Catholic is deep, and their strategy in the first game, the game that we broadcast here on HSTV, was to substitute freely. I mentioned during that game they looked like a hockey team almost, 45-second shifts. I think Chuck Crummey would have changed on the fly if he could have gotten away with it. And it worked for about 2.5 quarters. Now, I didn't see the game at Central Catholic. Not sure if they used the same strategy there or not, but whatever they did, it worked, as they were able to stay in that game for quite some time. So here we go. We're ready to get underway. It will be Bucas and Farrell to jump center. Farrell controls it, but it goes back to Central Catholic, and they'll set up shop with Barker. So first possession goes to the Vikings in the blue and gold. And Barker loses the ball. Turnover right off the bat. Now Jacobs to Bonds. He'll slow it down, and the Raiders will set it up. Now Uniontown's first possession. We're just underway. Dribble drive. Chris Jacobs can't get it to go. The follow keeps it alive. Loose ball finally pulled down by Highland. So the Raiders come up empty with 30 seconds into this one. No score. Chuck Durso with you. My partner Jess Hudson unable to be here. They have their own playoff game tonight, and there we go. We get a foul called on Farrell. Near steal. First foul of the night. Started to say Jess Hudson, he's coaching tonight as his Clareton Lady Bears, the top seed in girls Class A, playing their quarterfinal game tonight, so he's unable to be with us. So I'll be flying solo tonight, bringing you the action and doing the best I can to keep up with these fast-paced Red Raiders. And a near turnover, out of bounds, Raider ball. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Vikings. Highland trying to plead his case. Not going to win that argument. You seldom do when you argue with the Zebras. Now Vaughn's open court. Here's Farrell. Shot doesn't go. Keeps it alive. Follow. And send him to the line. First foul of the night called on Central Catholic. Lamb will be tabbed for the boo-boo. First 2 of the night goes to Carl Farrell, and the Raiders take the early lead. Free throw is up and good. A 3-point play to start things off. Some full court pressure from Jacobs. Uniontown in the man-to-man, as they will be most of the night, and there you go. Touch foul called up top on Terrence Vaughns, and that's what we're talking about. How close will this game be called? And that's going to be a theme throughout the playoffs. How close the officials call the games. Uniontown does not want it called very close. Now we get a long 3, and that will be short. Rebound comes to Highland. And now a tie-up. Nice play by David Winfrey, and the Red Raiders will get the possession. So Bucas misses the 3. Highland with the rebound, but then Winfrey ties it up, and now the Raiders inbounds with a 3-0 lead. 6:47 on a turning clock. Quarter number 1 just underway here on HSTV. Central Catholic starts out in the man-to-man as well. Vaughn's on the drive, and he draws contact. So they're calling it close both ways here early on. We've had 4 fouls in the first minute and a half. And this one's going to be called on Drew Garcia. Check that. I thought they called it on number 30. They called it on number 3. So it was Jacob Barker. And Terrence Vaughns with that wonderful stroke from the free throw line. In and out on the second one. That net was tied up and still is. They didn't take care of that after the first free throw. Terrence misses the second. Not that that affected the free throw necessarily, but it may have. And another turnover. Jacobs ahead of the field. That fixes the net. Raiders up by 6. And on near steal. Farrell was able to save it, but Winfrey couldn't quite handle it. Good effort, though. Good hustle. And the crowd responds, and Terrence Vaughn says, "Give me some love, Raider fans." Open underneath Garcia. Nice backdoor cut. And the Vikings are on the board at 6-2. Back come the Raiders right away. Stop and go move by Dier. Tries to hit Carl. Out of bounds. That's off of Highland. Raiders will inbounds. 5:59 left in the first period. It's 6-2 Uniontown. Raiders, of course, want to play up tempo. And they're succeeding in forcing the tempo here early. Now off the inbounds, Dier was open, couldn't get the shot to go. Farrell with the follow. Someone got a piece of it inside. And now, a near steal by Vaughns. Little contact from Farrell, but nothing called. Now Barker. Little push off there on Jacobs. Crowd saw it. Nothing called. Now Garcia, spin dribble. Shot is short, and look at David Winfrey for the rebound. Loses control of the ball momentarily, but Terrence Vaughns is there. 5.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Raiders by 4. Quarterfinal action in the WPIAL tournament. Now a near throwaway. Vaughns gets it. Now Winfrey is open for 3. He'll put it up occasionally. Keep the opposition honest. Won't shoot from out there too often. That one rolled out, but out of bounds off of the Vikings. And we get our first substitutions as into the game. Comes number 21, Matt Brown. Ross Watson in the game as well, number 34 for the Vikings. Raiders still with their starting 5 out there. Now Jacobs underneath. Tried to get it to Farrell, but that pass misconnects. And now we're going to get a foul from behind called. Is this on Jenkins? Yes. D.R. Jenkins called for his first foul. That's the third team foul on the Red Raiders. Exactly 5 minutes remaining here in the first period. Now Watson underneath, no good. Winfrey taps it to Farrell and then stolen. Some contact, but nothing called. Highland came away with it. Now Garcia on the drive, loses it, but right back. So Garcia has 4, and it's now a 6-4 game. And Vaughns goes right down the lane. Shot doesn't go, and the rebound pulled down by Brown. So the Raiders pushing the ball up court every possession, even after Viking scores. Dukas thought about the 3. Now he puts up a 2. No good. Farrell with the rebound. That would have tied the game. Raiders scored the first 6. And now it's 6-4. And now D.R. Jenkins. That 3 no good. Jacobs keeps it alive, and the ball out of bounds off Garcia. 4:18 remaining in the first period. So the Raiders have gone cold from the field here now. Pat Brannigan checks in, number 40. Highland will take a seat, and this is what we were talking about before the game started. Now Barker back in. And Garcia will sit down. This is what Central Catholic and head coach Chuck Crummey likes to do. 3 substitutions. Trying to keep his players fresh against this Red Raider up-tempo attack. I think that's sound strategy. Turnaround by Jacobs, in and out. Ball comes right back to Christian, and he'll go to the line as he draws the foul. A little bit of a fortuitous bounce for the Red Raiders, and the foul will be called on Watson. Third team foul on the Vikings. We have 3 team fouls aside, and Jacobs will now shoot a pair. This is the first. Wide open spaces here at this university arena here on the campus of California University. More wide open than the players are accustomed to. That can take some getting used to. We've seen a couple of misses from the free throw line by the Raiders early. A very good free throw shooting team. They're 3 for 5 here in the first period, and it's now 7-4. Raiders by 3. They led by as much as 6 in the opening minutes. Now a trap off the half court and a steal. Vaughns gets it ahead to Winfrey. Ahead of the field. Bucas tries to come back. That's goaltending. And Winfrey will get credit for a pair. No doubt about that. The ball came off the backboard when it was blocked. Now Garcia and Highland back in the game, and number 4, Simon Harris, checks in for the first time. I told you have to be like Mike Lang here, hockey announcer, to keep up with all these changes from Central Catholic as the game goes on. Get used to that, fans. If you missed the first matchup between these 2 teams, that's what they'll do throughout. Is that offense? Oh, they call it on Jacobs. Well, from this angle, certainly looked like Barker pushed off. So 1 foul on Jacobs, 4th team foul on the Raiders, and again, not to harp on it, but the officials are calling it close early. I had a good angle on that. It really looked like a push-off to me. Now a near steal again. Watson is going to be called for the travel. And I left my abacus at home. I've already lost track of the Viking turnovers, at least 5 in the early moments. Hey, I'm loving this. We're living large. I'm down here courtside at Hamer Hall. We're big time. Got Uniontown fans sitting right here behind me. My good buddy Dewey Coatney is right off my left shoulder and helping me out. Terrence Bonds! And one. .323 left in the first quarter, and the Raiders lead by 7 at 11-4. Carl Farrell opened up scoring with a three-point play for the Raiders. Now Bonds with a chance to convert the three-point opportunity, and does. That's 4 points for Terrence. Raiders with their largest lead of the night at 8. Now Garcia got up in the air, got caught up in the air a little bit. Tried to hit Watson, but Watson was already getting ready for a rebound. Bucas now back in as Harris will take a seat. 3:12 first period. Winfrey now pushes it up court, and that ball kicked by Barker, so the Red Raiders will inbounds. And the first substitution for Uniontown, in comes Brandon Duncan. Number 30 as Pierre Jenkins will take a seat. Duncan is a 6'2 junior. Among the top 7 players, he's the lone non-senior out there. And now, he gets the roll. The rims are friendly at Hamer Hall. And Chris Jacobs will get a three-point opportunity. 2 if by sea, but 3 if by land. The Red Raiders getting them in threes, but not from beyond the arc like they usually do. They're getting the old-fashioned three-point play. And Chuck Crummey wants a timeout. He calls a 30-second timeout with the Raiders leading by 10, and the Raider chant going on behind me as Raider Nation has moved across the Mon River to California, Pennsylvania for the night. Ready to resume action now. Central Catholic, this is the worst start they could possibly imagine. They wanted to obviously stay in this game as long as possible. Anytime you're heavy underdogs, the longer you can stay in the game, the better. The favorite, of course, just the opposite. You want to put them away early. Uniontown certainly hasn't put them away, but they've gotten off to exactly the start they wanted, up by 11 points early on as Chris Jacobs converts the third Red Raider three-point play of the night. And number 52, Kevin McClee now checks in as Farrell. We'll take a breath. Kevin enters to the chant of boo from the crowd. Vaughn steps in front. Garcia had to pick up his dribble. Now Barker double teamed. Into Watson. Little contact from Winfrey. Nothing called. Now back in the corner. Here's Bucas. Look at the Raiders hound defensively. That's the trademark. And now we'll get a hold called. This will be on Duncan. So we've had 5 team fouls already on the Raiders with 2:43 left in the first period. The good news, nobody has more than one. 5 different players have been called for those 5 fouls. Now Barker thought about the 3. Nice backdoor cut. Garcia disrupted by McClee and out of bounds off of Winfrey. Nice defense by Kevin. Looked like Garcia had himself a layup there. McClee had other plans. And now a foul will be called on Kevin McClee. So the 6th Red Raider now to be called for a foul. And some Raider fans are growing impatient. Got to get used to this, though, fans. As the playoffs go on, these games are likely to be called a little closer than what you had in the regular season. McClee with the steal. In the open court, gets it to Winfrey. Now back to Vaughns. Look at that jump step. Shot didn't go, and it's out of bounds off of the Raiders. I believe McClee touched it last. Terrence a little out of control on that one. I don't think Coach Shuck is too pleased. We'd like to see him pull that back a little bit. Connor Lamb now back in. Jenkins checks back in for the Raiders, and David Winfrey will take a seat. So now Terrence Vaughns will run the offense. Rich Bierbauer, Rob Kesmarski, of course, assistant coaches under Dave Shuck here at Uniontown. Now Bucas from the corner. That three is short. And Kevin McLeod, beautiful position. Didn't even have to leave the floor for that rebound. 2:09 on a turning clock. 15-4, the Raiders. And Central Catholic has gone an eon or two without a point here. Now Jenkins. Shot doesn't go. Bucas with the rebound. Barker. Now leaves it for Highland. They find Bucas underneath for the score. First points by anybody other than Garcia for the Vikings. And that ends a 9-point Raider run. Their lead is 9 at 15-6. Uniontown has led all the way. Near steal by Highlands. Coming right up to me. I should have made a play on that. Ball coming my way. Well, again, interesting to see now how the Raider offense does with their point guard on the bench for a moment. Winfrey and Vaughns will go to the line as he is fouled. Garcia will be called. No, check that. I did it again. Well, I keep wanting to give Drew Garcia these fouls. It's not number 30. It's number 3. And that's Jacob Barker, his second. Both teams have now committed 6 fouls. Terrence will go to the line for a pair. He is 2 for 3 here in the first period. The Raiders as a team 5 for 7. This will be their 9th free throw of the quarter coming up. Central Catholic has not shot a free throw. Now Winfrey comes in. Pierre will take a seat. David doesn't score many points. He has 2 so far tonight. But Dave Shuck has made no secret about the fact as the season has gone on, he has stated the one player he could least afford to lose is David Winfrey. He's so valuable to this team. Terrence makes a pair, and it's 17-6. The Raiders with their largest lead of the period, equaling their largest lead at 11. We're down to the final minute of the quarter. Crossover dribble from Garcia, trying to break down Winfrey. It's tough to break down any of these Raiders. Now Highland looking for help. Now the long three-pointer is up. That's no good by Brannigan. Offensive rebound by Bucas. And it's 17-8. Central Catholic's been having a little bit of luck with the backdoor cuts, getting some open looks that way. It's been about the only success they've had offensively. That time they get the offensive rebound. Now Terrence Vaughn's 3-ball corner pocket in and out. Kevin McLeod had position for the rebound, but the ball went right over top of his head and was pulled down instead by Garcia. So now Central Catholic is going to see if they can string a couple of baskets together here. 15 seconds left. They don't appear to be holding for one. A little push-off again by Brannigan, and nothing called. 5 seconds left. Got to put it up. Now from the corner, Highland for 3. That's no good. Loose ball, and that will end the first period of play. And a very good quarter indeed for the Uniontown Red Raiders, who lead from start to finish after 1 quarter of play. The score, Uniontown 17, Central Catholic 8. Back with second quarter action right after this on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Injured in an auto accident? The hometown team at Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law has been helping local people recover from their injuries since 1976. And there's no fee unless you recover. Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
Welcome back to HSTV. I'm Chuck Urso, bringing you the play-by-play for this WPIAL boys quarterfinal game. The winner advances to the semifinals next week to play the winner of the Mount Lebanon Upper St. Clair game, which will be played the day after this game. This game being played on Friday night, February 22nd. On Saturday at 4 o'clock, Mount Lebanon and Upper St. Clair will play at Chartiers Valley. And speaking of Char Valley, how about that? Char Valley, the defending WPIAL champs, defeated Uniontown in the finals last year. The Raiders would have loved to have had a rematch in the finals this year. That's not to be, as Char Valley upset in the first round by North Hill 68-64. North Hills plays Kiski. Gateway plays Newcastle in the other quarterfinal matchups. Semifinals will be in the middle of next week, and the championship game at the A.J. Palumbo Center will be next week. We're ready to resume action, and Central Catholic took too long getting out there. The referee just laid the ball down and started the 5 count. Garcia ran to the ball and inbounded it, so now Central Catholic gets the first look. Here in the second period, it's 17-8 Raiders. Terrence Vaughn's leading the way with 6 points for Uniontown in that first quarter, along with Chris Jacobs. Jacobs also had 4. That's Brannigan with his first 2 off the bench for Central Catholic, and it's 17-10. Now Duncan with McLee underneath. Draws the block. Foul will be called on Brannigan. That's his first 7th team foul on Central Catholic. This will be a shooting foul anyway, so Duncan will get a pair. Uniontown in the bonus now the rest of the way. Of course, Central Catholic in the bonus the rest of the way as well, because Uniontown has committed 6 fouls, so everything in this second quarter is going to send someone to the line. Now we have a little mix-up over who the foul was on. I believe they started to attribute it to somebody else. Oh, they're calling this a 1-and-1. Wow. Well, Brandon makes it a moot point as he hits the free throw anyway. I'm not sure how they can call that a 1-and-1, though. There's no doubt that he was shooting on that block. It was a block. You can say it was after the shot. I don't understand that call at all, but don't worry about it. Brandon hits them both. There was also some confusion over who the foul was on, but they finally got the right guy. And Brannigan nearly over and back there. Highland with some fancy footwork to maintain possession for Central Catholic. Raiders lead by 9, 7-10 left in the first half. Skip pass to Brannigan. Near throwaway again. Ball saved by Lamb. Brannigan gets it to Lamb in the corner, and that ball stolen. Duncan, quick outlet pass to Winfrey. Ahead of the field, but he had to wait for the ball. Or rather, he had to track the ball down and then wait for his teammates. Farrell scores, but now coming back the other way with the throwdown is Bucas. And right away, head coach Dave Shuck calls a timeout because he does not like seeing those kinds of transition baskets off of the score. This is the 32nd timeout. This has been something that Uniontown has done at times this year. Certainly that second Laurel Highlands game. Well, I should say the first Laurel Highlands game in particular, giving up a lot of baskets after Uniontown scores, allowing the other team to beat the Red Raiders down the court, and that's what we saw there. Farrell with the layup, and then Bucas got behind everybody. When David Winfrey, as he did there, he led the break. When he's all the way down court, someone has to stay back. Nobody stayed back that time, and Steve Bucas had the slam. 9-point game, 21-12. Each team has used one 30-second timeout. Uniontown will inbound under their own basket. Full court pressure from the Vikings. Uniontown handles that with no problem. A little half-court trap. And get it out to David Winfrey. He'll set up shot. 6:33 left, second quarter. 21-12 Raiders. Look at the drive from Winfrey off the glass. No good. And the rebound pulled down by Watson. Back come the Vikings. Here's Garcia. Cut off. Now he'll put up the baseline jumper and in. Well, McLee cut him off, but then let him go. 4 straight for the Vikings. It's 21-14. Great start by the Red Raiders, but a long way to go. We're only in the second period. A lot of basketball to play. We don't want to count this Central Catholic team out. This is a good team. Now Brandon Duncan open. The jumper, no good. Offensive rebound by Terrence Vaughns. Up, under. Can't get the shot to go. Brannigan chases it down. Terrence, and now we're going to get a foul called on Winfrey. And that's his first. 17 fouls. All 7 Raiders who have been out there have committed 1 foul. And now Jenkins and Jacobs will check back in. McLee and Vaughns will take a seat. Corey Dethorne now checks in for the first time for Central Catholic, number 50. And also Rob Cugini, number 5, in for the first time. Central Catholic has had 10 players out there already. This is a 1-on-1, and the first one is up and in. Yeah, 10 players have seen action so far for Central Catholic as Garcia misses the second. So it's 21-15, a 5-point run right now for Central Catholic. Baseline Farrell cut off by Watson. Duncan tries to get it to D.R. Jenkins at the foul line, and he is fouled. This will be called on Highland. 8th team foul, so a 1-on-1 opportunity now for D.R. Jenkins. Jenkins, a 6'2 senior, his first free throw of the night, and he has it. I mentioned Uniontown, a good free throw shooting team, and they are 10 of 12 so far in this one. And that's a lot of trips to the free throw line. We're just 10.5 minutes into this game. They've shot 13 free throws already. Now underneath, Dethorne. Look at David Winfrey with the quick hands. But the ball comes back to Dethorne, and he draws the foul. Well, somebody has picked up their second foul. Who's it going to be? Duncan. So Corey Dethorne, a 6'4 sophomore out there for the Vikings, and he'll get a pair. This is a 2-shot foul. First one is strong. Bucas will check back in now. Central Catholic, this is only their 5th free throw so far in the game. They're 2 for 4 thus far. Dethorne makes the second. 7-point game, 23-16. Again, full court man-to-man pressure by the Vikings. Eugenie checking Winfrey, brings it across the timeline. Jacobs gets it into Jenkins, unable to handle it. Pierre says, my bad. Turnover to the Vikings. 5:02 left in the half. Well, such a great start by Uniontown. Now you get the sense that Central Catholic, they get a score here, and things start to get a little interesting. And all these Raider fans that have made the trip into Washington County, they don't want interesting tonight. There's a steal. Jenkins ahead of the field. Here comes Highland. Cannot stop Dier from scoring his first field goal of the night. He has 4, and the Raiders back up by 9. 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Bonds will check back in on the next dead ball. Another steal. Jacobs. Farrell. Well, he lost his footing and then he missed the shot, but Jacobs is there for the follow. Well, Carl was thinking slam dunk. In fact, that's why Jacobs gave it to him. They were thinking of the slam, and Carl just got his footwork a little mixed up. Lucky break there. Well, not a lucky break. Let's give Chris Jacobs credit for hustling to follow up. And the Raiders now back up by 11. That equals their largest lead. Now Bucas kicks it in. Missed shot by Garcia. Gets the ball back. Follow no good. Dethorne no good. Finally, Jacobs comes out of it for the Raiders, and the Raiders are running. Farrell will leave it. Now Central Catholic fans turn to bark. They wanted a walk call. Now Farrell on the drive. Contact, nothing called. Gets it back. That's no good. Jacobs keeps it alive, but the ball pulled down by Highland. And now Dethorne in the open court. Thought he drugged the pivot foot, but no call there. Now Garcia on the drive. And another steal almost by Winfrey. Boy, those quick Red Raider hands do not make a lazy pass. Garcia a little behind the back there to Highland. Now here's Bucas trying to back in on Duncan. Shot no good, and Carl Farrell skies for the board. Under 3 minutes left in the half. 27-16 Raiders. D.R. Jenkins, baseline jumper for 2. 6 points for D.R. And Chuck Clemmy wants another timeout. This is a 30. He'll use part of that to complain to the officials. He wanted a travel called. He also wants some fouls called underneath the basket here on rebounds. He's claiming that the Red Raiders are pushing off to get some of those offensive rebounds. Hey, you got to work the officials a little bit. Dave Shuck giving instructions to his Red Raiders. What a great atmosphere, folks. And if you weren't able to be here for the game, try to make the semifinals. Of course, I know a lot of you watching probably were here tonight. You know what I'm talking about. Testify, right? This is a great atmosphere at Hamer Hall. These Red Raider fans, they have come to party. And they're having a good time right now as the Raiders lead by 13, 29-16. And if you're Chuck Crummey, I'm not sure what you can do. Central Catholic has not played horribly. On the other hand, the Raiders have not had their A game so far. They've been out of control a little bit at times on offense, and I'm sure Dave Shuck will feel that they could play a little bit better. Now we get a push-off on Deethorn as he pushed off to get position, trying to get the high lob pass pushed away on Kevin McLee. First foul on Deethorn. That's the 9th foul, so now McLee will get a 1-on-1 back here on the other end. Yeah, Uniontown offensively has really not been in their rhythm yet. The defense has been your typical Red Raider defense. They've been able to score in transition, but their set offense is not as good as we've seen at times this year, and isn't that a scary thought that they can be up by 14 and they haven't kicked it in gear yet? It's a scary thought for the WPIAL, that's for certain. McLee hits the front end of the 1-on-1, gets them both. First two of the night for Boo, and now the Raiders up by 15, 2:40 left in the second period. Raiders picking up half court. Looking to trap if they can, and now Dier will be called for a foul. Not quite believing it. That's his second, and Coach Shuck immediately will sit him down now with 2:28. Probably will sit him down for the rest of the half now. You don't want him to pick up that third foul. Brandon Duncan coming in for Jenkins, and Duncan has 2 fouls himself, so he needs to be careful. But one thing you're concerned about Uniontown as they move through the playoffs, I mentioned this when the game started, is foul trouble. They don't want to get into any kind of foul trouble. They basically play 7 players. Rob Cugini is on the line. This was a 1-on-1. It was the 9th team foul for the Raiders, so everything will be a double bonus for the last 2:28. Cugini hits them both, 31-18. Everything will be double bonus on both sides. Barnes runs down that bounce pass from Jacobs, and Brandon Duncan shuffled the feet trying to set himself up for the jumper. Good call there. That's a definite walk. Some Raider faithful will beg to differ. What do you guys want, every call? Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. Sure you do. Highland Watson back in now. That's 2 players, not Highland Watson, but Highland and Watson for the Vikings. 2:16. Uniontown by 13. 5-second count. Almost didn't get it in bounds. Finally, Highland was able to get it to Watson. Good thing they both came in. Or Central Catholic may never have inbound. Duncan, near steal as he pressures Brannigan. Now Garcia. Boy, he looks to drive, doesn't he? But he turns it over. And now Jacobs is fouled by Brannigan. Second foul on Pat Brannigan, and Chris Jacobs now will go to the line, and this is the 10th team foul on Central Catholic, so it's a double bonus situation. Jacobs will shoot a pair. Carl Farrell will come back in. And D.R. Jenkins is going to come back in now with 1:51 and those 2 fouls. Duncan and McLee will take a seat. So a slight roll of the dice by Coach Shuck now to send D.R. back out there. You always take the risk he can get that 3rd foul. And up by 14. You certainly hope that doesn't happen. As Jacobs now 3 out of 5 from the line this evening. Makes 1 of 2 on that trip. Huge free throw advantage in this game here in the first half for the Red Raiders. 5-second count. Boy, that had to be a 5. That had to be more than 5 seconds. It certainly seemed like it wasn't called. Now Watson is open underneath. Boy, Farrell was up there high, but if he'd have hit that ball, it definitely would have been goaltending. He knew it. 32-20 now, minute 15. Raiders by 12. Terrence Vaughn's open baseline. Got it. 8 points for TV. Jacobs leading the way for Uniontown with 9. And the Raiders lead by 14. Final minute. D.R. Jenkins stepped out for the steal. But instead, Brannigan gets the baseline jumper. He has 4. Back to a 12-point game. Uniontown can afford to be patient now, and they'll go into their weave. They'll take the last shot if Central Catholic will let them. Head coach Dave Shuck more than happy to go in with a 12-point lead, and if he can push it up to 14 or 15, so much the better. This has been a solid half. Uniontown led by 9 after 1 quarter. And now up by 12. 19 seconds remaining. Uh-oh. Sloppy pass by Chris Jacobs, and Garcia will get the layup. Well, Coach Shuck not going to be happy about that. Garcia has 10. 8 seconds left. Now Uniontown can take one. Nice bounce pass to Farrell for the... Oh, he missed it. Dier puts it up at the buzzer. No good. Oh, tough luck. Beautiful pass from Winfrey. But Farrell doesn't get the shot to go. And as good as the first half was, head coach Dave Shuck will not be pleased with that final minute as they miss an opportunity to score and give up a pair to Central Catholic. So we go into the intermission. Our score at the half. The Uniontown Red Raiders 34, the Central Catholic Vikings 24. Our halftime program coming up in just a moment.
You don't have to drive to Pittsburgh to get quality legal services. The hometown team of Davis & Davis will even come to your home to help with your case. You can count on Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
The Herald Standard just became more valuable. It still has all the local and world news you want. It still has all the local and national sports you want. And yes, it still has all the other great features you want. Plus, now more coupons.
More coupons.
More coupons.
That's right, more coupons.
A new expanded coupon package has been added to the Sunday edition of the Herald Standard to bring you even more money-saving coupons on the brands and products you buy most. There's no reason to ever get a different Sunday newspaper.
No reason.
No reason.
Absolutely no reason not to get the Herald Standard.
For home delivery, call 724-439-7530. The more valuable Sunday Herald Standard. Now it's all you really need.
Are you receiving workers' compensation? Did you know you can obtain a lump sum settlement? Call one of the hometown professionals at Davis & Davis for a free consultation. Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
Welcome back. Chuck Durso with you at the half. It's the Red Raiders by 10, 34-24. We'll take a look at the halftime statistics coming up in just a few moments. But first, alongside of me right now is head football coach and athletic director here at Uniontown, John Fortuna, who, of course, is here tonight taking in the game. And, boy, Coach, what a fantastic season this has been for Uniontown, the great football season, and, of course, what the basketball team's doing out there, and what a great atmosphere, the student body having a great time tonight.
Oh, yeah, I think starting with the football team did a great job this year. You can see by the basketball team we got some great athletes here, and that's why we're successful. And looking at the student body, they do a great job. We have a lot of class in our high school, and we're very proud of them also.
How is that? Take us inside the high school for just a moment. Tell us a little bit about the spirit. I imagine school spirit has been running high in the hallways for quite some time now.
Well, it all started in September during football season. Now it's all the way through now, and it's unbelievable. You can just feel it in the air. It's a great feeling.
And of course, we don't want to neglect that girls team, which made the playoffs this year, first time in over 20 years. What a great season for the Uniontown girls team and Annie Malkowiak's squad as well.
Very proud of Annie and her squad. They've done a great job, and again, I'm very proud of them. And we're hoping for bigger things next year from the girls.
Of course, we look ahead to spring sports, and a lot still coming up, and of course, next football season for the Uniontown Red Raiders. I would imagine, among other things, you're particularly excited about the newest addition to the Keystone Conference, that team from across town.
Yes, Laurel Howlands. I think it's going to help Laurel a great deal being in our conference, and plus it's going to make our conference a lot better, too, and a lot more rivalry. So, hey, we just can't wait till we get started again.
We're already circling it on the calendar. We're looking forward to being there as well. Look forward to next season and, of course, this great playoff run. Congratulations on a great athletic program you guys have in place there at Uniontown.
We appreciate it very much, Chuck, and I congratulate Mr. Chuck. He does a great job with our program, and hopefully we'll go further after tonight, and I think we will.
There's the confidence we like to hear. The players back out on the court, and we'll get underway with the second half in just a few moments.
What's on HSTV? Check the Herald Standard, your local news leader, or visit the HSTV section at heraldstandard.com.
Welcome back. Chuck Durso with you here on HSTV. Halftime, Uniontown leading 34-24. Red Raiders led by 9. 17-8 after the first period, outscored Central Catholic 17-16 in that second quarter, so they lead by 10. Leading scorers so far, Chris Jacobs leading the way for the Raiders with 9. Terrence Vaughns has 8. Jenkins with 6. Farrell with 5. Winfrey, Duncan, and McLee each have a pair. The leading scorer for Central Catholic is Drew Garcia. He has 9. Steve Bucas with 6. Pat Brannigan with 4. Rob Cugini and Ross Watson each have 2, and Corey Dethorne has 1. Taking a look at rebounding, Farrell leading the way for Uniontown with 5 rebounds. And Jenkins and Duncan each have a pair of steals. Uniontown with 7 steals in that first half. And Central Catholic committed 11 turnovers in the first half. You could make an argument that that's not bad against this Uniontown defense. Uniontown 14 out of 17 from the free throw line. Central Catholic 4 out of 6. So Uniontown shooting 11 more free throws than Central Catholic in that first half. So now we're back to action. And now it's Uniontown with a quick turnover. That's their 5th turnover to start things off. So Uniontown a little sloppy at the end of the first half, and they come out the same way to begin the second half. And now, a lucky bounce and a score up and in by Lamb. That's his first 2 of the night. So it's an 8-point game. Boy, near steal underneath by the Raiders. Instead, the ball bounced right to Lamb. 34-26. This game far from over. A long way to go here. It's been a Raider night so far. But again, you just get a sense that Central Catholic weathered that early storm and they're just hanging around. You'd like to see another run here by the Raiders. Nice entry pass from Jenkins to Jacobs for the score. 11 now for Christian. And the lead back to 10. Now Jacobs reaches around for the steal. Farrell tries to get it ahead to Jacobs, but too much air on that pass. Had the right idea, but unable to deliver the ball. And now into the game comes Brannigan. Barker takes a quick seat. 6:51 on the turning clock. 36-26, Raiders by 10. Third meeting of the year between these two non-conference, non-section foes. Oh, look at that give from Garcia to Bucas. All in one motion, catch it and score. 8 points for Bucas, and the Raider lead is down to 8. Now Jenkins baseline. Ball comes out to Vaughns. Who draws contact, he'll go to the line. First foul of the second half, and it will be called on Connor Lamb. That's his second. 6:24 left in the third quarter. Raiders by 8. Vaughns was 4 out of 5 in that first half from the line. Again, this will be the 19th free throw by Uniontown. Uniontown with a rebounding advantage in that first half as well, 16-13 as a team. Ten points now for Terrence. The Raider lead is 10. Now Garcia double teamed. Lamb couldn't get the shot to go. Now the ball comes out. A scramble. Farrell tries to save it. Unable to do so. Great hustle by Carl Farrell. Farrell, of course, along with Kevin McClee, where we were talking with John Fortuna, the football coach at halftime. Farrell and McClee were both second team All-State on the big school team on defense. Now hoping to be part of a WPIAL champion basketball team. Watson on the follow. Farrell harassing. Ball last touched by Winfrey. 5:54 left. Vikings will inbound. Here in the third quarter, they trail by 10. Another near steal. Watson gets it off to Bucas. Jumper, no good. Jacobs with the rebound. And he'll bring it out himself. Now Jenkins. Thought about shooting. Now he'll get it to Farrell down on the blocks. Short jumper, no good, and Bucas with the rebound. Back on the Vikings. Brannigan, stop and go. Jacobs cuts him off, but now Brannigan frees up for a moment. Shot no good, and D.R. Jenkins with the rebound. Quick pass to Terrence Vaughns ahead of the field. Oh, nice block by Garcia. Back on the Vikings. Over to Brannigan. Up and down we go. Now here's Garcia, and he's fouled by Winfrey. Beautiful pass from Jenkins to Vaughns. Now D.R. Jenkins appears to be shaken up a little bit. Maybe poked in the eye, perhaps. I'm not sure. Has his hand around his eye. He'll take a seat along with Farrell. Duncan and McClee check in for the Raiders. Beautiful pass, as I started to say, from Jenkins to Vaughns. Looked like he was free for the layup, but wonderful defensive play by Drew Garcia. Now the double team. Highland gets out of there. Bucas from the elbow. In and out. Kept alive by Watson. Highland gets the rebound. Second shot opportunity for the Vikings. Boy, Highland was free for the jumper in the corner, but you got to rush things because Uniontown's so quick, and he was unable to handle the pass. Bucas is able to get the score, but you just get a sense of how fast those Raiders are. Highland knew he had to rush things, so he tried to catch it and shoot all in one motion and just dropped the ball. That's the kind of pressure this Raider defense can create. That's why they create so many turnovers. Now look at David Winfrey on the drive. To the house. 4 points for Winfrey. Lead back up 10. Now here's Bucas again ahead of the field. And a foul will be called on McClee. And Coach Chuck not pleased. That's the second time the Raiders have been beaten down court after a bucket. Coach Chuck called a timeout the last time it happened, and he's going to call a timeout again. This is a 30. So both teams have now used all of their 30-second timeouts. Both teams have all 3 of their full timeouts remaining. It's 40-30. The Raiders lead by 10. While we have a chance to catch our breath, we certainly want to wish good luck to the Clairton Lady Bears. Of course, as you're watching this on the tape delay in our first broadcast, if you're watching our inaugural broadcast, then this is Sunday night, and you know by now whether or not Clairton won their quarterfinal game, but our colleague, my broadcast partner all season long, the coach, Gus Hudson. Actually, we call him the coach for a reason. He's coaching tonight, so he was unable to be here. I thought my buddy Joe Ho was going to be in the house, but Joe, unfortunately, under the weather, was unable to join us for tonight's broadcast. Well, I'm flying solo here tonight, trying to do the best we can here. Trying to keep up with these Raiders running up and down the court. 2 shots for Bucas. Oh, look at that. You talk about timed rims. And he gets the roll again. 8-point game. We're bouncing back and forth between 8 and 10 all half long. It was 10 at the half, and the teams have just traded points. And now Vaughns is fouled. Will this be Barker? Yeah, his third. Hey, I called it right for a change on Barker's foul. I kept wanting to give his fouls to someone else. 4:06. This third period has moved very briskly. We're already halfway through the period. Central Catholic has narrowed the lead by 2 from the half. Jenkins back in the game now, so obviously he's okay. Now Chris Jacobs free from 17. 13 points for Jacobs, leading scorer for the Raiders. And again, they trade baskets. They're back up by 10. They'll say this was out of bounds off of McLee. Central Catholic will inbounds under the basket. The Red Raiders have not made a three-point shot yet tonight. That is very unusual. I mentioned in the first half they haven't played their best game, and yet they're still up by 10. And there's an example. They usually light it up from 3. Winfrey took a quick breather. He's now back in as Duncan will take a seat. Oh, near steal by Vaughns. And a near strip by Jacobs, but he'll be called for the foul. Didn't agree. But he doesn't get the final set. Paul Soroka, the official who made that call. Second foul on Jacobs. Third team foul on the Raiders. 10-point game. Now Watson backing in on McLee and scores. 34 points now for Ross Watson. And back we go to 8. So again, we keep going back and forth. Farrell will come back in next dead ball for the Raiders. Now Winfrey again on the drive. Oh, he's feeling it. He didn't come up I-43. He didn't have to pay a toll to head down that lane. 3:05 left. Back up by 10. And another foul will be called. And this is going to be on Jacobs again. And that will be his third. They're going to call this a shooting foul. Never got off the shot. So you could have called this on the floor. The player never got off the shot. It was Barker. But the official saying that he was in the act of shooting when the contact was made, preventing him from getting off the shot. So you give him the 2 free throws anyway. Now Raider fans are furious about this call. But I understand what the official was calling there. Which is not to say I agree with it. I just understand his thought process there. Farrell checks back in for McLee. 3:01 left. Raiders lead has bounced back from 10 to 8 this entire half. It's never been more than 10. It's never been less than 8. Right now it's 9 as Barker misses the second. 44-35. Full court pressure by Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Behind the back dribble by Vaughns. Gets it to Jenkins, but that shot was blocked. Now a nice bounce pass, Garcia to Watson for the score. 6 for Watson, and now for the first time in the half, Central Catholic cuts the lead to less than 8. It's a 7-point game at 44-37. Vaughns, crossover dribble, shot in and out. Kept alive by Farrell, but it comes out to Garcia. They can make it a 5-point game. Almost stripped from behind by Vaughns, but there's Watson again. Watson with 6 straight for the Vikings, and it's a 5-point game. You wonder if Coach Shuck will want to call a timeout here soon if Uniontown doesn't get it going again. And now Jacobs with the lane to the hoop and gets the roll. Garcia trying to draw the charge. Nothing called. 15 points for Jacobs. Back come the Vikings. And Barker will be called, and there's an offensive foul. And that's the 4th foul on Jacob Barker, as he becomes the first player on either side to get into serious foul trouble. McLee will check back in. Barker takes a seat as Rob Cugini back in for the Vikings. Jacobs will sit down for the Raiders. 46-39. Central Catholic got to within 5 at one point. Right now it's 7. And Vaughn stripped from behind by Garcia. The ball goes out of bounds. You got to be aware of who's behind you.
I don't know, Chuck. Garcia reaching in isn't getting caught on both sides, baby.
We got officials in the crowd. I'm getting advice from behind here. Carl Farrell on the follow and draws contact. My old German Yulin buddy in the back here, Sam Lee, says, give me a striped shirt and a whistle. I'll go out and make the calls. They never called those fouls on you when you were playing for German, did they? They never called those on you when you were playing for German, right? No. Things have changed. Yes, you were. Sam Lee says, I was a hacker when I know, I remember. Farrell hits the first. One out of 2. And the rebound by Dethorne. So the lead back up to 8 now for the Raiders. 47-39, minute 29 left here in the third quarter. Bucas stripped by Terrence Vaughns. And now look at Vaughns. Gets it to Farrell. And send him to the line. The Raiders with 3 3-point. I said they haven't made a 3-point shot, but they had 3 3-point plays in the first half, and now Farrell will have a chance for another 3-point play, which would give. Wait a minute. Check that. They're waving off the basket. They're saying he was not shooting, and I totally don't get that. I don't get that at all. How was he not shooting? They gave him the shot on the other end. If you remember Barker, they said was shooting when he never released it. And I can understand what the official was saying, but if that's a shot, how is Carl Farrell not shooting the ball now? I mean, there's no doubt he was in the act of shooting when the contact was made. Now D.R. Jenkins in the middle. So they won't get the 3, but they get the 2. And a steal. And Jenkins with Farrell. Tries to bounce it over to him. Doesn't get it, but Brandon Duncan is there. Now Vaughn skips it over to D.R. Jenkins. Getting his 3 on. There's your first trifecta of the night, and the lead is 13. 32 seconds left. There's your Raider run that we said we needed here in the third period. And now Raider Nation is standing, and they're chanting, and they're all excited here at Haber Hall. 18 seconds left. And another turnover. McLean. Plenty of time. No need to rush. 9 seconds left. Still plenty of time. 6 seconds. Terrence Vaughns. 2 seconds. On the drive. Ooh, lots of contact, but nothing called. And there's the buzzer. Well, Pittsburgh, I want to call him Greensburg, said that. Pittsburgh Central Catholic pulled to within 5 at one point, but a Raider run at the end of the period, and after 3 quarters, the score. Uniontown 52, Central Catholic 39. One more mile to go, a trip to the semifinals on the line. Back with the fourth quarter up next on Herald Standard Television Sports.
For almost 25 years, Davis & Davis has been providing legal help for local people involved in accidents, trip and fall, defective products, drunk driving victims. Get the help you need at Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
Lead by 13 as we head into the fourth and final quarter. What a wonderful atmosphere tonight. A lot of Raider fans are here. Now, nobody brought banners. We wanted you to bring banners. We were going to give you some love with the banner, but you didn't bring them. But that's all right. And by the way, next game, semifinals, bring the handhelds. All right, we want them. We want them there. And by the way, got to send the props out to Ryan Over, who stopped me at halftime and said that her and her mother put a lot of work into that banner on the wall for the Laurel Highlands games, the boys and girls games. And Terrence Vaughn's looking over at me here as we start the quarter. Wanting me to get in on the cheering act. But anyway, thanks to Ryan Over. Wanted to give her props there. Great job on that banner. Bring your banners to the playoff games because we'll show you as well. And now a turnover by the Vikings. 11 first half turnovers by Central Catholic and several here in the second half as well. Well, this crowd behind me is really hounding the officials. They're all over even when they make a call for the Raiders. Now Bonds tries to kick it into Farrell. Knocked out of bounds by Watson. Red Raiders will inbounds underneath. They lead by 13. Raiders by 9 after the first period, by 10 at the half. Now by 13 as we start the final stanza. Chris Jacobs, little contact, but looked like an alley-oop pass. Worked out just fine. Farrell with 8. Just the way you drew it up. 15-point Raider lead, which, if I'm not mistaken, now equals their largest lead of the night, led by 15 in the second quarter as well. Now Bonds with the steal. Oh, right back to Highland. Now Garcia stops and pops and drops. That's 12 for Garcia. And a quick timeout is going to be called by Chuck Crummey. That leaves him with 2 full timeouts. And the Red Raiders, of course, have all 3 of their fulls left. Now, again, the winner of this game will play the winner of Mount Lebanon and Upper St. Clair. By the time you watch this, you'll know who the Raiders' opponent will be. As we stand here on Friday night, we don't know. That game's being played on Saturday. The other brackets, the same time as this game on Friday night, up at the A.J. Palumbo Center, is actually a doubleheader. Gateway against Newcastle in the opener, North Hills against Kiski in the nightcap. And again, you'll know by the time you watch this who's going to play in that other semifinal. Now, when the semifinals will be, we don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday. My guess is Wednesday, but that's just a guess. Champions, and where it will be, we don't know, but again, my guess is A.J. Palumbo Center. But that's just a guess. We'll see. Personally, I'd love it if they came right back here. Hey, Uniontown's the number 1 seed. Make Mount Lebanon or Upper St. Clair come back down here. That's what I think they should do. Of course, I don't know what California's schedule is as far as college basketball this week, but that would be great for Raider fans. Not that they won't make the trip to Palumbo, mind you. Because if Uniontown plays in the finals next week, that's where the final will be, and you know Raider Nation will be down there as well. Back to action now with 7 minutes and now under 7 left. Raiders by 13. They beat the half-court trap. Now Terrence Vaughn kicks it in. Shot no good by Dier, but Vaughn gets the rebound. Second opportunity for the Raiders. David Winfrey liking to drive. Oh, they're going to call offense. Well, I'm not sure who had position there. I thought he drove right between, and now David. Uh-oh.
You called that foul?
This could be trouble.
How did you call that?
Worse than the foul is the fact that David Winfrey is hurt and holding on to his left leg. And we mentioned before, Dave Shuck has said the one player he cannot do without is David Winfrey. I have no idea who drew that charge. To be honest with you, I thought he went right between the 2 players. But the official determining otherwise, and David's had success driving with a couple of layups right through the Central Catholic defense and saw a lane there. But boy, he is not putting any weight on that left leg. And that's not good news at all. First of all, they have to get through maybe the final 6:34 without him here. And then you wonder about the next game. Now let's hope it's nothing serious. Now back to business. Raiders by 13. Turnaround, Bucas scores. 14. for Steve Bucas, and it's an 11-point game. Well, the Raiders have had control most of the way tonight, but again, Central Catholic, they just won't go away. Uniontown has been unable to put them away, and now again, with Winfrey on the bench, you just feel a little uneasy. And the Raider crowd about as quiet right now as they've been all night, and you get the sense that maybe they are a little, feeling a little trepidation right now. One eye on the court, the other eye on Winfrey over there on the bench. Duncan's shot is short. Look at Farrell with the follow, and he draws contact. And I believe Watson will be called. Check that, Brannigan will be called for the foul. That's his third. 6th team foul on Central Catholic, so Uniontown will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Uniontown has committed 5 team fouls. 5:36 left in the fourth quarter. It's 54-43. Uniontown by 11, and Farrell misses that free throw. Carl now 2 for 4 from the line. Gets the second. Raider lead is 12. They continue to treat Winfrey, and we will also keep an eye on what's going on over there on the far corner with Winfrey. He continues to get treatment. Brandon Duncan is called for the foul, and I'm not going to play doctor from all the way across the court, but I will say that the trainer is rubbing his calf muscle, and so you wonder if maybe he just got a cramp the way he came down. You hope that's what it was. Look at this long three by Barker. Let's start the air ball chant, fans. That's what I'm talking about. Now Vaughns gets it to Dier as the Raiders break the full court pressure. .5-10. Duncan spots up. Now gets it to Vaughns. Jenkins running around the baseline pick. Instead, other way to Duncan. Under 5 minutes left now. Raiders by 12. Little contact with Garcia. Boy, Dier wanted to catch it and turn and shoot all in one motion. Couldn't handle the ball. Now Vaughns stops and pops. Shot no good. Contact after the shot, but nothing called. And Brannigan runs it down in the corner. Back come the Vikings. And now Duncan will be called for the foul. And that will be the 7th on the Raiders, so that will put Central Catholic into the bonus. And now Duncan has 4. So Brandon Duncan becomes the first Raider to get into foul trouble. He has 4. Winfrey and Jenkins each have 3. Again, Winfrey not in the game right now. 4:38 left in the fourth period. 1-1 now for Garcia. Hits the front end. He's now 3 for 4 from the line this evening. It's an 11-point game. Hits them both. Central Catholic has not been substituting as freely here in the second half as they did in the first half. Now we see Highland come back in for Barker, but we haven't seen the continuous shuttling in and out of players that we saw earlier. Now here's Dier Jenkins. Pulls up, puts in. 13 points for Dier. And the lead back up to 12. 4:22 on a turning clock. Skip pass. Oh, almost stolen by Dier. And now the 3 is up and in. And that's Brannigan, and that's the first 3-pointer tonight for Central Catholic. And it's a 9-point game. 57-48 as we approach the 4-minute mark. And now a steal by Garcia, and Terrence Vaughns will be called for the foul. These Vikings won't go away. You've got to give them a lot of credit. 15-9 on the season. They were 8-4 in Section 4. They defeated West Mifflin. They defeated North Allegheny. And David Winfrey back in the game, and a big round of applause from the crowd. Like to see that. I'm thinking maybe that was just a cramp problem, and that's really good news. 1-1 now, misses. That's a big miss for Central Catholic. They needed those points. Every free throw is crucial. And a timeout will be called by Coach Shuck. with 3:54 remaining. Well, you can't believe. Earlier, I heard a fan back there say, "Hey, Coach, why don't you call a timeout?" When he didn't. Now this time he calls a timeout, and I hear a fan say, "What do you call timeout for?" I love it. You can't. Yeah, you're never gonna please all of them. But that's the passion that you love. You absolutely love that kind of passion. What this season has done for the Uniontown area, and by this season I mean football and basketball. The excitement that it's brought to this area. These young men have just brought so much joy and pleasure to so many people here, and we're not even close to being done. Let me just finish my point real quick here. Central Catholic defeated North Allegheny in the first round of the playoffs, 49-42. It was at West Mifflin. That got them into the quarterfinals, and it also ensured Central Catholic of a trip to the state tournament, win or lose tonight. Of course, Uniontown, they know they're in the state tournament also, but that really doesn't mean much to them. If you tell them, hey, you're already in the state tournament, they're going to look at you and say, yeah, what's your point? They want to win the WPIAL championship. Then they want to win the state championship, but right now they're focused on the WPIALs. Clinching a berth in the state tournament truly is meaningless to them at this moment. 3 wins is what they need, and they're 3 minutes and 54 seconds away from getting the first one here tonight. But it's not over yet. They lead by just 9. Back to action. Uniontown and Central Catholic, by the way, both teams have 2 full timeouts remaining. Possession arrow is in Uniontown's favor. Now Uniontown will run a little clock coming out of the timeout. They did this at the end of the first half and turned it over. One reason you can do that is David Winfrey is back out there. Now Vaughn's on the drive. Tries to dish it to D.R. Jenkins, but knocked out of bounds by Brannigan. 3:21 left in the fourth. Uniontown running off nearly half a minute. Now they'll go into their, looks like their set offense. Winfrey got to be careful, coming from behind. That's 2 strips now by Garcia. And the score. And a quick timeout by Central Catholic. 16 points by Garcia, and now Coach Shuck will work the officials. He wants a call. Can't let Coach Crummy get all the action here as far as leaning on the officials. You got to stand up for your team as well, and Coach Shuck never bashful about doing that. So again, you just can't put these guys away. It's 57-50. Winner gets the winner of Mount Lebo, Upper St. Clair. Upper St. Clair, the number 4 seed in the tournament, and they are favored in that game against Mount Lebanon. USC is 22-3 on the year and a very good team. That's going to be a tough game as well for whoever wins this one. We expected this game to be difficult, though. I don't know how many of the fans thought so, but I certainly thought this would be a tough one, and I was talking to a couple of the fans before the game, and the sense that they got was, a little nervous because Central Catholic has played Uniontown tough twice this year. Again, Uniontown winning January 4th, 80-60 at Uniontown, and then went up to Central Catholic and defeated the Vikings by only 2 on a Farrell tip-in at the buzzer on February 1st, 64-62. So you knew it was going to be tough. And it has been. Uniontown has led throughout by as much as 15. After 6-4, and Uniontown scored 9 straight points at that point to make it 15-4. Since then, the closest the Vikings have gotten was 5 at one point in the third quarter. But right now, it's 7. And again, Uniontown will go into the delay. And now Vaughn's, and that ball is kicked. He tried to hit Jenkins. Well, if you're going to go into this delay, then be patient. And Terrence a couple times has tried to create out of the delay. Uniontown normally a very good ball handling team and a good free throw shooting team as well. And now Vaughn's three ball no good, but look at Carl Farrell. Great hustle. And that ball was kicked. Kicked and not called, and here comes Garcia. And now Winfrey will be called for his fourth foul. So Garcia will go to the line and shoot a pair. It looked to me like the ball was kicked down at the other end here, which should have been an inbound situation for Uniontown. Instead, Garcia with a chance to make it a 5-point game with 2:16 left. So this stops the clock. That helps Central Catholic. They can set up a press now, coming off the free throws if Garcia makes them. He is now 5 out of 7. And it's a 5-point game. Simon Harris back in now as Brannigan will take a seat for the Vikings. So for the second time in the half, Central Catholic within 5. This is as close as they've been since early in the game. Now Jenkins dribbles right around Bucas. Uniontown will set it up. Jacobs gets it to Dier. This is for 3, no good. Jacobs with the rebound. Farrell scores. That's a huge bucket. 11 points for Carl Farrell. Raiders needed that one. Back up by 7, a minute 49 left. You cannot underestimate the importance of that offensive sequence by the Raiders. Now Watson, and disrupted by Farrell. He makes the play on the other end. And Vaughns is fouled, and he'll go to the strike. That foul is called on Watson. That's his second, the 17th foul. So Terrence Vaughns will have a 1-and-1. Terrence is 6 of 7 from the stripe so far tonight. A minute 39 left. Make both of these, and we're up by 9. Carl Farrell, big plays on both ends. Give Chris Jacobs credit, too, with the offensive rebound. Farrell scores and then disrupts the Watson shot on the other end. Terrence has made his last 6 from the stripe. The lead is 9. 61-52. And now time running short on the Vikings. Uniontown has not been able to put them away. But if they stop them here and then score, and maybe they will. Bucas for 3, no good. Vaughns, contact as Watson went over his back, not called. Now Garcia loses it to Watson. He loses it to Bucas. Boy, talk about fortuitous bounces by for the Vikings. Chuck Crummey immediately calls a timeout with a minute 16 left, and that's their last timeout. No more timeouts for the Vikings. Dave Shuck still has 2 full timeouts for the Raiders. 61-54. Chuck Urso with you. This is quarterfinal action. The winner advances to the WPIAL's Final Four. And we'll, of course, have that semifinal game for you as well, as long as Uniontown's in it. We'll bring you that action also. And any state playoff games that Uniontown partakes in, we'll have for you up to Hershey. We can't bring you the finals of either tournament, but we can at least take you there. And we're loving it. We're loving the trip through the postseason. It's been a lot of fun all basketball season. And I love the love I get from the student bodies from all the schools, but of course tonight it's been Uniontown. I know you're out there watching. And Mom and Dad tune in too. We appreciate all the support that the viewers have given HSTV throughout this basketball season. We don't want it to end. And hopefully for the Raiders, it won't end for quite some time. What, another month at least, right? I think the state championship game is about a month away, 4 weeks. Okay, back to action. Raiders by 7. Near steal by Watson on the inbounds. Again, you would expect the Raiders to be patient. A minute 10, and they're up by 7. No need to rush. Jacobs gets it to Terrence, and the bump will be called on Watson. The Vaughns will go to the line again with the 1-and-1. That's the 8th team foul, so no double bonus yet. Uniontown has committed 9 team fouls, so the Vikings will be in the double bonus the rest of the way. Now Brannigan will check back in. Harris comes out. Well, if Uniontown gets in the semis, I hope they schedule Clairton for a different night for the semis. I want my partner Jess back with me. I miss Jess. Explaining everything, telling us what's going on. We got to get him back here. Or at least Joe Ho in the house for the semis. Terrence, 10 of 11 from the line. Typical free throw shooting performance from Terrence. Now Watson wide open underneath, and Farrell wisely just lets him go. You don't want to foul and stop the clock and give the three-point opportunity. Now Vaughns don't know about that shot, but Watson was going to land on one of his teammates. He had to let go of the ball, and a break for the Raiders. As Vaughns picks it up and then is fouled, he knows that he shouldn't have put that shot up. So he points to himself, my bad. But it all works out for the Raiders as Terrence will get 2 more from the stripe. Again, a 1-and-1, 19 foul. Foul was called on Bucas. That's his first foul of the night. Raiders by 7. Make it 8. 10 straight free throws for Terrence Vaughns. Missed his second free throw of the night and hasn't missed since then. He is 11 out of 12, make it 12 of 13. Central Catholic needs to score quick. They have no timeouts left. Layup no good by Garcia. Farrell with the rebound. And now the long outlet pass. Jenkins. Watson fouls him, and Jenkins will go to the line, and it looks like finally the Raiders may have put this one to bed. I may be speaking too soon. And you get a look on the look of the faces of some of these Raiders, and they're just shaking their heads. They know this has been a tough one. Down on this end here, where I'm sitting, Terrence Vaughns, David Winfrey just looked over here and just kind of a little shake of the head here like, whew, this wasn't easy. And Terrence had the same look, and Vaughns and Chris Jacobs right now shaking hands. And Farrell, and they're just kind of looking at each other like, let's get out of here. This one's in the books, and let's just go to the Final Four now. Jenkins misses. That's his first miss of the night. He's 2 out of 3. Now, again, if he misses this, it's a 9-point game, and Central Catholic comes down and hits a 3, and it's not over yet, and he does miss. So let's not put it in the record books just yet. Vikings have only made 1 3 tonight. Bucas got it. 6-point game. Again, no timeouts. Had to foul quick, and Brannigan fouls Vaughns. 4th foul on Brannigan, and if you're the Raiders, this is who you want at the line. Again, they're a good free throw shooting team. But of all the players, here's the guy who's money at the line. Raiders by 6. Really just needs, this is the 10th team foul, so it's a double bonus. 2 shots. If he makes one of them, that should put it away. And there it is. Makes them both. That should do it. Even 2 threes don't help you here. Garcia will drive. Gets the bucket, but the Raiders are happy to give it to him. Got to foul quick now. And there's Vaughns. Just hold on to it. Jacobs and Central Catholic's going to let the time run out. Nope, we get a foul called. Simon Harris is called with 1.2 seconds left, and Chris Jacobs will go to the line. 67-61. The Raiders heading to the semifinals. All over but the shouting, and there'll be a lot of that here in a few moments. There's been a lot of shouting tonight. Boy, what a great atmosphere. I love it. We're down here courtside at Hamer Hall, and I'm surrounded by Raider fans, and they have been intense. Christian hits them both. Long fling by Brannigan, and there's your final score. The Red Raiders advance, and that's what it's all about. Win and survive. Win and survive. And in the WPIAL's version of Survivor, it's time to say, Central Catholic, the Red Raider Nation has spoken. It's time for you to go. The final score, Uniontown 69, Central Catholic 61. Back with the postgame right after this.
What's on HSTV? Check the Herald Standard, your local news leader, or visit the HSTV section at heraldstandard.com.
Welcome back. Chuck Durso here down on the court, and we have Rich Bierbauer here. We have David Winfrey and Terrence Vaughn's here, and I had to wait a few moments for the crowd to quiet down here. There was so much noise here when the players walked out. Well-earned victory. We'll talk to the players in just a moment, but first, Coach, you didn't think it was going to be easy now, did you?
Well, we knew that the layoffs really scared us. The kids have been doing a good job in practice, but practice you can't simulate the game situation, and many times we're a step behind making plays that we normally don't make. I was kidding Terrence. I told him I think he got all the bad plays out of him, so we're ready to go ahead. But the victory is a victory, and I think it'll stand us in good stead for the next game there.
You always have to make, I guess, a decision strategy-wise when you have this kind of a long layoff. Do you want to scrimmage or you just want to practice? Coach Shuck decided he was just going to go with practices, and what was the thinking behind that?
Well, we were afraid we didn't want to get anyone hurt. We'd been healthy, and we didn't have anything to prove, and we were worried if we scrimmaged someone, they'd come in Uniontown #1 and, the hype, and, maybe something bad would happen. So our JVs gave us a good look. Kids did a great job, and I think our kids were prepared, ready to play tonight.
Didn't shoot particularly well from outside. Only one three-pointer all night long, and that's usually a big part of your offensive arsenal, but you were still able to pretty much control the tempo of the game throughout, so yeah, that has to be a positive.
Two things. Number one, Central Catholic had something to do with that. They're a pretty good basketball team, and they took us out of some of the things we wanted to do. Number two, the layoff. And then I'll add one more to it. Our kids always find a way to win, and that's what we like about them.
That's the main thing, is you get to the next round, and now you get the winner, Mount Lebanon, Upper St. Clair. And what do you know about either of those teams, real quick?
Both good teams, both out of the same section. So the funny thing, they're playing at Char Valley, and they both played there, so no advantage. But either one will provide a challenge. So if we get our kids ready, we'll be in good shape then.
And we look forward to being there as well. Good luck. Congratulations tonight.
Thank you.
Way to go. Into the semifinals, and now I'm going to step in between the two of you here real quick. And first of all, we'll talk with you. The first question, how you feel?
I feel good right now. It's just a little cramp. I'm all right.
Well, that's what we saw him rubbing your leg there, and we were hoping to cramp. We were a little worried there for a second, but fine game tonight. Certainly, we were just talking with the coach because of the layoff, a little trouble shooting from outside. You took it in your own hands a couple times, did a little penetrating, and created a little offense that way.
Yeah, like you said, our outside shooting wasn't going on, so we took the ball in the hoop, got fouled, made our buckets. That's all you can do.
Typical defensive effort, of course, team defense. I don't know how many turnovers they had. I know they had 11 at the half. Obviously, one thing that I guess the layoff doesn't affect defense, or at least it shouldn't, right?
Nah. Just come out and play hard, that's all.
Congratulations. Good effort. Terrence Vaughn's. Another fantastic night from the free throw line. You put this thing away, and good effort. Again, this was a difficult game. You guys were in the lead all the way, but you just had a sense you were never able to quite put them away. They battled hard.
Oh, I mean, Central Catholic is a very good team, but I give all the credit to the guys and the coaches. I mean, I know myself, I was out there messing up, and if it weren't for these guys, I don't think we would have came out with the victory, but we fought hard, we played hard, so, we came out with the win. That's all that really matters.
To talk a little bit, the coach was talking about the layoff. Give us an idea from the player's perspective. How difficult is it when you're used to playing a couple times a week and then you don't play for almost 2 weeks?
Well, coaches did a very good job in preparing us, and kept us in shape by running us, and we constantly went over plays and everything we need to do to get ready for this game. So, I mean, maybe the layoff even helped us a little bit by, getting healthy a little bit and preparing a lot more.
Bottom line, took care of business, and now you move to the next round, and that's what matters. Congratulations all around. We'll see you in the semifinals, and we'll be back with the final word in just a moment.
Injured in an auto accident? The hometown team at Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law has been helping local people recover from their injuries since 1976. And there's no fee unless you recover. Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
Welcome back, Chuck Durso here down on the court. Again, your final score tonight, 69-61. The Red Raiders do what they had to do. They win the game, and they advance into the semifinals. I've just been handed my trusty stat sheet here, so if you'll beg my pardon, we're going to take a look here at some of the statistics and share them with you before we bid adieu for the night. Terrence Vaughn's the leading scorer for Uniontown with 18 points. Chris Jacobs added 17. Terrence, by the way, 14 out of 15, only 2 field goals tonight, but 14 out of 15 from the line. Chris Jacobs made 6 field goals on his way to 17 points. D.R. Jenkins, 5 for 11 from the field. He scored 13, and Carl Farrell added 11. Leading scorers for Central Catholic were Steve Buchas and Drew Garcia. They each picked up 19 points. Leading rebounder for Uniontown was Carl Farrell. He led the way with 11 rebounds. Some other stats of note, D.R. Jenkins had 4 steals, and Jenkins and Vaughns each had 2 assists. Uniontown out-rebounding Central Catholic 28-23. Central Catholic committing 17 turnovers, typical Red Raider defense, as they picked up 11 steals as a team. Uniontown shot 40% from the field tonight, 20 out of 50. So again, didn't shoot great from the field, only 1 out of 5 from beyond the stripe. But you heard assistant coach Bierbauer say that the layoff was part of your big reason for that, as well as Central Catholic playing very tough defense. You got to give the Vikings a lot of credit. They played Uniontown tough 3 times this year, and especially the last 2, and they were in this game throughout. Uniontown led the entire way, wire to wire, scored the first 6 points of the game. There were no ties. Uniontown never trailed, but Central Catholic hung around, and this game was still in doubt in the final minute. But Uniontown wins. They now advance to the semifinals. Mount Lebanon or Upper St. Clair, by the time you watch this, you know who their opponent will be, and you know we'll be there as well. So we hope you join us for semifinal action. For now, we say so long. My thanks to Eric Zakovic. I'm Chuck Durso saying so long from Hamer Hall on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania, where tonight's quarterfinal final score, Uniontown 69, Central Catholic 61.